Every day I'm asking you to barrage the Farage. Send me in your thoughts, your opinions, disagree with me, ask me really difficult questions, and I will do my absolute best to try and deal with it. And Maureen on email asks, when can we expect MPs back to work and a full attendance in the House of Commons now that all restrictions have been lifted? Well, we're told it's going to happen very, very quickly. We're told within a week or two it's going to happen. But then Boris Johnson told us that it was Freedom Day, our lives would get back to normal, and yet he found himself on that very day giving us a press conference in isolation at Chequers. So I would have thought, given that there's been no change to the policy on pings and people isolating, the chances of seeing a full Parliament and a full PMQs, given that the summer recess is about to happen, you ain't going to see it until the autumn at the very earliest, Maureen, I would suggest. Now, Sonia on email says, could the UK send these illegal boat crossers to an offshore fort for processing, or put some wave machines in the water to make the route non-viable? One of the bonkers ideas that was put forward a couple of years ago was that maybe we'd put some nets in the English Channel. Now, clearly, these people knew nothing of the English Channel or the tidal rips in the English Channel. Any dinghy getting caught in those nets and then the tide starts to run, I mean, everybody would drown and die. We cannot do that. Much as I disagree with what's happening on that cross-channel route, I did find myself last October out at sea, and we came across a very, very small kayak. Couldn't have cost more than, I don't know, 50, 100 euros. There were two African boys from Mali in it. They were in trouble. One had the early stages of exposure. The boat turned over. They were in the water. It was pretty horrible. And I remember having the hands of one of these guys, and he was pretty limp. I couldn't pull him over the side of the boat, you know, sort of dead weight, as it were, literally. And you know what? However much I disagree with what they're doing, they are still human beings. And so the idea of wave machines or anything that would actually cause loss of life, I think would be a disaster. But I will say this. These new 11-metre boats that are being used on that channel route, they're taking up to 70 people. They are built for one crossing. They are not safe. They have sort of plywood glued into the bottom. And I genuinely suspect that at some point there's going to be a very, very nasty incident this summer. Alison on Facebook asks me, the vaccine isn't working, so what is the necessity for passports? Well, Charlie Mullins just argued that the vaccine is working, and that if you look at death rates, look at hospitalisation rates in this country and in the USA, there is a fair bit of evidence that it does. Alfred says, why stop at statues, which, after all, are only just one facet of history? Consider all the buildings built with the proceeds of slavery, all the roads built with the taxes on slavers. Let's do the job completely. Demolish buildings, all buildings over 100 years old, and dig up all of the roads. And I'll finish with, Camilla says, does France not have any system of processing immigrants? They're quite happy to play wing three-quarters, in my opinion. They're quite happy to pass the problem on to us. One thing for certain, this issue is not going to go away. It'll dominate non-COVID debate over the course of this entire summer.